Have you ever seen it? A kid who just loved playing a sport suddenly doesn't. They dread going to practice. That little spark they had is just gone. Well, that's a huge problem in youth sports today, and it's called burnout. But what if there is a completely different way to approach all of this? Let's dive into a pretty surprising solution that comes from, of all places, the boxing gym. And this quote, man, it just gets right to the heart of it, doesn't it? It's that exact moment you see the joy on their face get replaced by anxiety, by exhaustion. It's a feeling that, unfortunately, way too many parents and young athletes know all too well in today's high-pressure sports world. So let's get really clear on what we're actually talking about here. Youth sports burnout isn't just about a kid being a little tired after a long season. No, this is a deep physical and emotional exhaustion. It's something that can seriously damage their self-esteem and rob them of all the good things sports are supposed to give them in the first place. Okay, so before we can really understand the solution, we have to get a handle on the crisis itself. I mean, why are so many kids burning out? It turns out the problem is baked right into the system of modern youth sports. It's basically become this giant pressure cooker. You've got kids being pushed to specialize in just one sport all year long, which leads to overuse injuries and just plain fatigue. Then there's this crazy scholarship myth hanging over everyone's head where an 8th grade travel game feels like it's a pro tryout. And, when parents are shelling out thousands for club fees and travel, the kids feel that. They feel this crushing guilt if they don't perform perfectly every single time. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. The whole point of youth sports used to be about developing as a person, about building character. But now, for so many kids, it's been twisted into this relentless obsession with specializing early and winning at all costs. It turns a fun game into a stressful, high-stakes job. So where do we go from here? Is there an alternative? Well, a really compelling one can be found in a place you might not expect, the boxing gym. And listen, this isn't about trading one intense sport for another. It's about embracing a totally different philosophy. Okay, so here's the key. It's all about pacing. A good youth boxing program is built to be a marathon, not a sprint. The entire system is structured around slow, steady, long-term growth for the individual, not about getting a quick win for the team this weekend. And that brings us to the first big pillar of this whole solution. It's a fundamental shift in focus, away from just winning games and toward mastering skills. And that changes everything about how a kid builds confidence. You know what's so powerful about this? It's how basic it is. A beginner doesn't just get thrown in the ring to get punched. Not even close. They spend weeks, sometimes months, just learning how to stand correctly, how to breathe, how to move their feet. The first person they ever compete against is themselves, in the mirror. I mean, really think about this for a second. In boxing, there are no bench warmers. Every single kid in the gym is working, they're learning, they're getting one-on-one attention. Their personal progress is never, ever put on the back burner just so the team can get a win. In here, everyone is a starter. Burnout often happens when the only goal that matters is some far-off championship. But in this model, the focus is on daily micro-victories. Stuff like finally nailing a pivot, or getting your jump rope time a little faster, or just keeping your hands up when you're totally gassed. These are the small daily wins that build real, lasting confidence. Okay, so burnout isn't just about the body being tired. It's emotional, it's mental. And that's where this approach has another incredibly powerful tool to offer. It's all about training the mind. Think about a teenager today, juggling school stress, social pressure, everything. The gym can become a sanctuary for them. The intense focus you need for boxing, it kind of forces you into this flow state. It's like a moving meditation where all that outside noise just has to melt away. It literally works like a pressure valve for anxiety. This whole system is designed to build intrinsic motivation. That's the fire inside that makes you want to get better for yourself. When a kid is pushing through a hard workout because they want to get stronger, not because they're scared of a coach yelling or letting a parent down, well, the risk of burnout just plummets. All right, I know what you're probably thinking. 2 huge questions always come up for parents. Is it actually safe? And honestly, can we even afford it? Let's tackle those 2 head on. And look, this is the #1 concern, and it's a totally fair question. The image of people hitting each other is, of course, alarming. But any responsible youth program puts safety above absolutely everything else. The answer is something called a brain-first protocol. That means the science of defense, how not to get hit, is the very first thing they learn.
Beginners spend almost all their time on zero-contact drills, conditioning, hitting pads, and when they do spar, it is meticulously supervised with top-of-the-line protective headgear and gloves. The risk is managed, so they can test their skills safely.
Now, let's talk about that second massive barrier: money. You really can't overstate how big of a deal this is. The moment a kid feels like their family is sacrificing a ton of money for their sport, it stops being fun. It becomes a job, and every mistake they make feels like they're letting everyone down financially.
And this is where this model just completely shatters the mold. The program that inspired this explainer, the Equal Chance Boxing Foundation, makes it all 100% free. $0 for registration. All the gear is provided. It completely removes that financial pressure cooker from the equation for the kid and for the parent.
So, when you strip away that crushing pressure to win at all costs, and you take away all the financial stress, you can finally get back to the real reason we put our kids in sports in the first place. This quote just says it all, doesn't it? The goal isn't just to make great athletes, it's to use the sport as a tool, a classroom for teaching resilience, discipline, how to manage your emotions, and how to build deep self-respect. Skills that actually matter for the rest of their lives. So we'll just leave you with this to think about. By focusing on mastering yourself, on mental well-being, and by tearing down those financial walls, this model offers a really powerful alternative. It kind of suggests that maybe the best way to develop a champion athlete is to first focus on developing a resilient, confident, and joyful human being.